It's Friday, October 6, 2023. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Hit that bell notification, hit that notification so when the newest video drops, you are alerted. So make sure you check that. But without further ado, let's just get right into what's going on here today. I'm a little bit surprised with what we just witnessed earlier today. The payroll numbers came in way better than expected. And yesterday, I said, I have no idea what's going to happen. They manipulate this stuff so much. But I got to tell you, I was a little surprised today, a little shocked to see the payrolls number come in at 336,000 when it was estimated to come in at 170,000. So this is literally 2 times expectations or estimates. It's pretty shocking that they were this far off. 336,000, and then typically, as you know, good news is bad news for these markets. But today, the good news was good news. Now, do you believe these numbers? I don't believe them. They're highly manipulated. You get it, I get it. But at the end of the day, this is what the Federal Reserve is going to look at. They're going to look at the payroll numbers of 336,000 versus the 170,000 estimate. Now, average hourly earnings rose a whopping 0.2% for the month, and they were up 4.2% from a year ago. Estimates were 0.3% month over month and 4.3% year over year. So a little bit off, but not much. Unemployment, 3.8% today compared to a forecast of 3.7%. But the big number here are the payrolls. Soaring, 336,000. Yes, I get it. I understand. I agree with you. This isn't real, but this is the data that the Fed is going to use, real or not. The Fed's going to look at this and go, this labor market is on fire. They're doing everything they can to cool it down, yet they're going to get this number of 336,000. I think that this is going to validate another rate increase by the Fed in November. I do believe that. Now, I could be wrong, but they're trying to cool this labor market down. They're raising interest rates, and the labor market is on fire. August and July non-farm payrolls were revised upward by a combined 119,000. Now, I saw some other news that said it was 190,000. So I don't even know what number is right. 119,000 or 190,000. At the end of the day, so we've got 2 months revised up. September's on fire. I think the Fed has got big problems here. Again, I understand. I get it just like you. I don't believe this data. I don't believe that the payroll number is 336,000. I think it's highly manipulated. We'll talk about that a little more in this video. But at the end of the day, they're going to justify more rate hikes with this tight labor market. And you got to ask yourself, what are they going to have to do to cool this labor market down, manipulated or not? Same thing with home prices. They want to see home prices go down. They want to see people begin to lose their jobs. They want to slam the brakes on this economy. And look, for the most part, this economy is falling apart. But this labor market, home prices, they still have a ways to go. But they're not done, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go a little deeper in this article on CNBC. Where were the jobs for September? And this is pretty interesting. Leisure and hospitality, what a shock. This is where the majority of the jobs were. 96,000 jobs in September went to leisure and hospitality. And what another shock here. Government. We had 73,000 jobs in September in government. Healthcare and social assistance, 65.9 thousand jobs. These are 3 areas, ladies and gentlemen, where we don't need any more jobs. This is where we actually need to see the market cool down. We don't need more people working in leisure and hospitality and earning minimum wage. We don't need more people working in government jobs. I mean, I thought like you know, we had enough people working in the government. Maybe it would be better if we had a smaller government, less people working in the government, just a smaller government. Healthcare and social assistance. Many of these jobs are part-time, they're low-wage jobs. And of course, we have a very sick society now, mentally and physically, and so there's going to be a lot more jobs in the healthcare and social assistance sector. But again, a lot of these jobs don't pay very much. But these are three sectors that I wish we didn't see growing month after month after month. Let's look at manufacturing, where we should be growing, where we should be seeing good, solid, well-paying jobs in manufacturing. And we added 17,000 jobs in September. What a joke. So out of 336,000 jobs in September, 17,000 of those were manufacturing. How about transport and warehouse? 8.6 thousand. Financial activities, 3,000. Mining and logging, 1,000. So again, everybody's going to be working at resorts. They're going to be working at McDonald's, fast food. They're going to be working at Starbucks. They're going to be working at the bars and restaurants. These are turning into more career type jobs now, and this is where they're at. Or you have another choice. You can work for the U.S. government, or you can work in healthcare. These are the three largest sectors every month. Manufacturing is not growing. Financial activities isn't growing. Mining and logging isn't growing. Transport and warehouse jobs not growing. Not a good sign. Here's one from the Hedge Today. Inside today's jobs report. This is interesting, and I would refer you to this article to read it. I'm just going to go over it for a second here. But according to this article on the Hedge, inside today's jobs report, 885,000 full-time jobs were lost, 1.127 million part-time jobs added, and it records multiple job holders. So you have people working 2 jobs, 3 jobs, even 4 jobs. And so you can manipulate these numbers. There's multiple different ways to do it. Read the article, but I thought this was pretty interesting that they're reporting 885,000 full-time jobs lost, 1.127 million part-time jobs added. How many people do you know that are working a full-time job now? Most people are not getting 40 hours a week. Most people are working 2 jobs minimal now, and they're barely getting by. But this all sounds good. It looks good on paper. It's going to light a fire under the Fed to continue the rate hikes. It's going to continue to slam the brakes on this economy. 10-year Treasury yield rises after strong U.S. jobs report. Earlier today, the 10-year Treasury yield hit 4.887. I mean, almost 4.9. Earlier today, it's sitting at 4.799 right now. Remember, your mortgages, your car loans, credit card rates, student loan loans are all tied to the 10-year Treasury yield. And so most people will go, oh, who cares about it? Everybody should care about it, because this number means you're going to be paying more to borrow money, more to service debt. It's going up. We're going to see it break 5%. Yahoo Finance today. U.S. job growth smashes expectations, raising prospects for rate hikes. As we spoke just a few minutes ago, I think the odds now are in favor that the Fed is going to be forced to raise rates yet again in November, and they have another meeting in December. So do we get 2 more hikes this year? Do we get one in November, or do we not get one in November? We get one in December. How many are we going to get next year? They're talking about cutting rates next year. I don't think they can even do that. I think that they're making promises that they're not going to be able to keep, because as long as you have inflation not near 2%, and you have a labor market that is literally on fire now, you got a long way to go. You're going to have to raise rates. And if this government does not get this spending under control, we're going to have interest rates at 7, 8, 9%, and we're still going to have inflation, because we cannot stop spending money. The average person, the average household cannot stop spending money. We have a spending addiction here in America. I was watching a couple minutes of Fox Business this morning. They had Ray Dalio on. And Ray Dalio, love him, hate him. The guy is worth over $20 billion. He's a historian, smart guy, and he sees big trouble coming. He just doesn't think that he thinks this country is so divided socially, politically, that we're heading into some very, very rough times here in America, not only economically, but socially. And you've got to be preparing, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to really have a tight circle of friends, people who are bringing skills and assets to the table, people who aren't going to drain you, eat all your food, drink all your water, absorb all the calories, and then be a liability to you. You've got to really be picking people right now. You need to get rid of weak people out of your life. We have very troublesome times coming to this country. And if that scares you, good. Typically, when people get scared, they take action. If you're scared and you're not taking action, I feel sorry for you. You do not have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. Take a look. Listen to people who study this every day, like Ray Dalio, historian, multi-billionaire. And there's many other people out there. You can just see for yourselves what is going on. You're looking at the deterioration of this country. Homeless people everywhere. I'm talking to some people who are in town, a couple houses up the road here, and they were in Los Angeles the last couple days, and they just came in from the UK, and they could not believe what they were seeing in Los Angeles, the amount of homelessness, the tents, people coming up to them for money. They didn't feel safe. And they were absolutely, they said that this does not look like what they see in the movies or on television back in the UK when they see Hollywood and Los Angeles. So when you actually go out there and see these things for yourself, when you go to many of our urban cities now in America, pick one, Chicago, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Philadelphia, New York, the list goes on. They're all beginning to look the same. Run down, infrastructure deteriorating, crumbling, tents everywhere, people everywhere, drugs everywhere, crime everywhere. They're all beginning to look the same. They're looking like third world cesspools, unfortunately. Where is the money going, ladies and gentlemen? Where is all this, this tax revenue that this country takes in? And you're paying way too much in taxes. I know I'm paying way too much in taxes, and I don't get to even voice where my tax money goes. It's certainly not going where it should be going. It's really, really criminal what is taking place. There was an article today on CNBC. It was titled, 6 Reasons Your Credit Card is Declined and What to Do When It Happens. I'm not going to go through this whole article, but 2 of the 6 things were this. You have maxed out your credit card. What a shock. And another one was you missed too many payments. There are 589,000 credit cards in the pockets of Americans right now. Let me repeat that number. There are more credit cards than people. 589 million credit cards in circulation in people's pockets right now. And I'm thinking, reading this article and just reading this data today, we have a big rock concert here for the weekend. I think it's called Power Trip. I'm not even sure. Guns N' Roses, Metallica. We've got AC/DC, Iron Maiden, some pretty big bands. 80 to 100,000 people are going to be here. I was looking at the price of tickets the other night. Weekend pass starts at $600. I'm talking to these people from the UK who are here for it, and they said, well, you have to throw in a few other things. The $600 now, $700. That's the minimum. That's the cheapest you're going to get is around $700. I was looking at tickets online. Some of these pit passes or seats, tickets, whatever, in the pit area were over $5,000, okay? For one day, $5,000. We're gonna have 80 to 100,000 people here, people traveling from all over the country, people coming in internationally. And I just say to myself, how in the world are people paying for this? They're getting hotel rooms, they're paying for the concert, the travel cost. Even if you're coming in from LA and you're paying, $5, $6 for a gallon of gas, and you're paying, $400 or $500+ for a room, I'm sure they're jacking up room prices now because of this. Rooms are probably $1,000. This is what they do during Coachella Fest, so I'm sure that's what they're doing right now. They absolutely rip people off. But how many people can actually really afford to do this? And look, I'm all for a good time, but I mean, at what cost? How many people can really afford this? How many people out of that 100,000 are going to use plastic this weekend to pay for the overpriced booze and beer and food, tickets, parking, transportation, excessive room rates, all that? How many people can really, really afford this versus how many people are going to use one of those 589 million credit cards to finance another weekend? You know, I make these videos, ladies and gentlemen, and if you can afford to do this and it doesn't affect you in any way, then God bless you. Have a great weekend. Have a great time. Do whatever you want to do. You can afford to pay cash for a car today. You know, buy what your heart desires. Enjoy life. Have balance in your life. Have a good time. But do what you can afford to do. Do not go into debt going to rock concerts or buying cars or living beyond your means. We are getting very, very close to things beginning to absolutely implode. You must use caution right now. And too many people, they get so emotional and their emotions take over, and you know, this is going to be the last time they're going to see Guns N' Roses or this band or that band. They've got to do it, and they're always justifying things. And then they go, why am I broke? Why don't I have anything? Now my transmission broke and I need $4,000, but I spent $4,000 for the weekend for a trip to see Guns N' Roses. People are not preparing. They're not using self-control. They're absolutely out of control because, again, they are addicted to spending. They're addicted to the good times. They're addicted to a lifestyle that they refuse to give up. And they're going to lose to this economy, to this collapse. They're going to lose to it. And these are the people I worry about the most, because these are going to be the people knocking at your door. These are going to be the people living on the streets that are going to have no idea how to survive. Chapter 11 filings by businesses soar 61% so far this year. So we have 4,553 businesses that have filed Chapter 11 so far. Small business filings rose 41% to 1,419, and consumer filings rose 17% to 313,000. Yet people are telling us on the television every day, the strong consumer, the strong economy, the resilient economy. They can't believe how strong it is or how resilient the consumer is or the economy. I mean, when are people going to realize that we're not going back to any type of normal? I'm going to end with this last article, and we talked about this about a week ago, and it popped back up on the Hedge today. Costco is selling out of gold bars. The economic crisis no longer can be hidden. And I agree 100%. You can't hide this. You don't have to go very, very far to see we're in a crisis. The gas station, the grocery store, you're looking at people losing their jobs every day now. People now are so dependent on credit cards. And you see gas prices have come down, but to what price do we pay for that? How much of our strategic petroleum reserves have we had to wipe out to push prices down again to get oil back to $82 a barrel or wherever it is today? How much of this is because we are absolutely eviscerating our strategic petroleum reserves, which are meant for emergency, which are meant for war, but we're going to play games with gas prices by wiping out our reserves. Very, very dangerous, very dangerous. But getting back to what's happening at Costco. So now members at Costco are going, wow, I should be buying gold bars. And so now it's becoming a little more trendy, I guess, for people at Costco to buy gold bars. So if Costco says, hey, we have gold bars for sale, you should buy them, people go, oh, okay, and here we are. We talk about it every day, why you should have some of this stuff. And I will tell you this, reading that article and just reading some of these stories today and watching some of the news today and just seeing people spend absolutely out of control, what I did today was I bought more gold, I bought more silver. And to the people out there that go, oh, gold's gone way down, I lost money. You have very, very soft, very weak little hands. If you're worried about stuff like that, become a day trader. Stay a day trader, all right? Do not buy gold, do not buy silver. I buy gold, I buy silver, and I hold it for years. I hold it and hope I never have to use it. And as I've held it, it's gone up, it's come down. But over the years, from when I started buying 10 years ago, it's worth a lot more than when I started buying it. It's worth a lot more than it was 5 years ago. And I still hope I never have to ever use it or sell it. But I bought more gold and even more silver today because of this pullback in price, even though it was up a little bit today. But I said, you know what, who cares? Gold was up, silver was up a little bit, but it's way below where it was just a couple months ago. So I said, I'm going to buy some more. I don't have little soft, weak hands. Anything, if you can buy gold for under $2,000 an ounce, I think it's a steal. That's my opinion. It's not financial advice. And I know, people are going to, try to say, oh, you keep saying it's not your financial advice. I don't give financial advice, ladies and gentlemen. I make videos and I share with you what I'm doing, what people in my circle are doing. You can do whatever you want to do. I would never give financial advice. Do I think you should own some gold? Yeah. You should be very, very diversified. Everybody should own some gold and silver. It's never going to be worth zero. But this isn't a so-called investment where it's going to go up overnight or it's going to double by next year. It will go up excessively if inflation begins to run out of control. It will go up excessively when the Fed begins to lose control and they have to reverse course and lower rates and begin to print a lot of money. Gold will go absolutely ballistic. We hold gold in case of emergency, okay? Because if you think holding dollars is going to be the best alternative, the safest alternative, I'm praying for you. I would much rather be holding physical gold versus dollars. Now, do I hold dollars? Yes, absolutely. You need them right now. But there's going to be a point where I think people are going to begin to realize it's going to be much better, much safer, and make a lot more sense to be holding gold than it is dollars. And at some point, I think we will be measuring our wealth in ounces and not dollars. The dollar is going to continue to weaken, and the weaker the dollar gets, the stronger gold is going to get. And remember, that's what they hate here. Gold is topped out already all over the world at record highs this year, except for the US, because the biggest threat to the US dollar, or one of them, is gold. And so I do believe when these BRICS nations begin to really get a foothold here, and they begin to weaken the dollar even more than it has been, and you're going to see more nations, and then you're going to begin to see more institutional money flowing into gold, an asset that's never been worth zero. It's been around for over 5,000 years. Where do you think gold's going to go? Do you really think that gold 5 years from now is going to be worth less in 5 years than it is right now? Is it possible? Sure. Is it probable? No. It's unhackable. It's untrackable. It's untaxable. It's the most liquid asset on planet Earth, so I bought more of it today. Again, I don't have soft, little, weak hands. If you do, stay a day trader. The metals are not for you. Metals are insurance. Metals are, if things go nuclear, we get into a very, very bad situation. We see a dollar collapse. We see massive inflation, hyperinflation. We see an economic collapse. You better be praying to God you have some gold. That's like getting into a massive car accident and waking up going, oh yeah, thank God I have insurance. Thank God I have auto insurance. I'm going to leave it there today. Think about that though. That's what I did today. I'm not going to go and see Guns N' Roses this weekend. I'm not going to go see I'm not going to see AC/DC. I'm not going to see Iron Maiden or any of these bands. What I did was I went and bought gold and silver this weekend. Now, that gold and silver, the cash, that Monopoly money I used, I had two choices. I could have went and saw Guns N' Roses this weekend, or I could get some gold and some silver. I chose the gold and silver. I think it's going to be the right choice. At the end of the day, Guns N' Roses, they'll be around for a while. I can listen to them if I want to. Not really a band I listen to anyways, but I can flip on YouTube, watch them. I can turn on Sirius. But you only have a limited opportunity when you're talking about buying gold and silver. These things aren't going to always be this cheap. They're not always going to be available. Guns N' Roses will be. Have a good weekend.